Hello everyone, Connor the Music Fanatic here, coming to you guys with another video. Today it's not going to be a album review, which I'm going to get to album reviews, honestly. Here's my thing. When I say I'm going to review an album or review albums, never take my word for anything, because I am a really shitty person when it comes to taking my word for keeping up my word on shit. So when I say I'm going to review an album, there's no time span. If an album comes out in September, I may review it either December or next fucking year or something like that. But this video today is going to be an update video on something. As you guys know, I've made 2 videos on this channel so far about this, my vinyl collection, because I collect records and I collect vinyl and everything. And I've collected quite a few records in kind of the last like 2 weeks, kind of, so I just kind of wanted to show those off because I thought it was cool. Not only did I get a few records, I actually got 11 in like the last like 2 weeks. I also got a new record player because here's the thing. In the last 2 years, I have gotten 2 of these. They are made by Victrola, and they are all-in-one stereo systems. A CD player, a cassette player, a vinyl record player, a radio, and a Bluetooth speaker. Here's the thing. The only reason why I ever buy these things is because of the record player. And the record player on these things kind of fucking suck. The Bluetooth is good, the CD player is okay, and the tape player is good. The record player on these things fucking suck. So I'm going to be honest, if you're going to get an audio system or you're going to get a record player system or something like that, do not get one of these. They are not good if you want to get into collecting records and stuff, if you want them to last. This thing only lasted me a year. Instead, I updated to just a record player, and I got this. It's an Audio Technica, or Technicia, ATLP60XHP. And so yeah, this thing has worked very good so far. It's probably, it wasn't that expensive. It was like only like $100. This thing so far has worked pretty good. This thing came with RCA cables, which I don't have actual speakers, so I just kind of had to jerry-rig this real quick. And instead, I got the one that comes with it, which goes all the way over to here, and then it has the RCA cables. Then I bought 2 couplers, which is what these are. And then I had another one that came with another record player, and then had to get that, and had the aux cord or mini cable plugging into this, which is my Sylvania SP387, I think is what it is, or 386. And it's just a tower speaker I've had, and this has sounded very good so far. And this is honestly also another just small thing. I've never had to do this with any other record player I've owned before. I don't know if this is just for them or something, or if this is all record players and I just don't know about it. I had to manually install the belt. It came and it had a ribbon just right there. And then I had to take the ribbon off, and then I had to go and put that manually on there myself. I have never had to do that with a record player before, and thought that was interesting. So yeah, that's the new record player I got. On to the real reason why I made this video. So the real reason why I made this video today wasn't just to show off that I got a new record player recently, which I think is pretty cool, but also to show off the 11 albums that I got in probably the last 2 weeks, just because I feel like that number is kind of just something to show off, just because me. So the first one, without wasting any more time, the first one that I got was the album Built for Speed by the Stray Cats. They're a rockabilly band. You should listen to them. I highly recommend them. The setup for this band of how they play is also kind of impressive too. Brian Seltzer, you know, he plays as the back says right here, you know, Brian Seltzer, where is it? Right there. It says Brian Seltzer, strumming and crooning. He's the guitarist and the lead singer. Plays a older style looking hollow body usually when he plays. So he's the guitarist and lead singer. Slim Jim Phantom, banging and yelling. He's the secondary singer, and he's a backup singer, and he's also the drummer. And his setup is literally like a bass drum, a floor tom, a snare drum, and a ride cymbal, and he stands up when he plays. So I find that very, very impressive, to be honest. And then there's Lee Rocker, who's slapping and howling. He's also kind of a backup singer, and he plays a stand-up bass and just slaps the shit out of that thing if you ever see him play live. So yeah, that's Built for Speed by the Stray Cats. Funny story about this, my uncle got this for me. It was $6 at a flea market And when I went record shopping today, which I got fucking 7 albums today alone, I went to a record store and this is one of the first albums I saw. So a few days after he gets it for me, I fucking see it. The second album I got was an album that I was supposed to receive as a Christmas present a few years ago, when I was like fucking 17. But I forgot what the album was. But I forgot which album was which. Instead, I got the album Blood Sugar Sex Magic by the Red Hot Chili Peppers. But today, I bought my favorite album by them, Californication. This has always been my favorite album by them. I mean, the first side, for God's sakes, has Around the World, Parallel Universe, Scar Tissue, another side. And this album is just incredible, and it's Californication by the Red Hot Chili Peppers. Really good album. One thing I wanted to show off was something that's inside. It is not only a lyric sheet, but on the back it kind of has a poster of the guys from the band, just like in a huddle. You know, Anthony Kiedis, Flea, Chad Smith, and John Frusciante when he was still in the band. By the way, that right there is a Red Hot Chili Peppers poster that I got from the album Blood Sugar Sex Magic when I got it a few years ago. So I thought that was cool. After that, also this album was the album that like inspired me to get a new record player, and this is the one that I bought with the new record player. And then after that, a few days later, I was really bored, so I was like, I'm just gonna go record shopping. And the first one that I got, I own the first 4 albums by Metallica on vinyl, Kill 'Em All, Ride the Lightning, Master of Puppets, and Injustice for All. And now I completed the first 5, because I got the Black Album. And, yeah, this is the Black Album by Metallica. It's not, this is Spinal Tap by Spinal Tap. You can tell when I put it in the light. But yeah, Black Album by Metallica. Not much to say about it other than it's an amazing record, and came out in 1991, which is the year that music was born in the 1990s, because the year 1990 was kind of weird for music and people didn't really know what they were going to do. 1991, Nevermind by Nirvana came out, the Black Album by Metallica came out, and basically music was born in the 1990s. And as you can probably tell from my shirt, Green Day, you know, they're my favorite band. The 1990s are my favorite decade of music. So yeah, after that, in the same exact place, Barnes & Noble, which is where I got the Black Album too. By the way, if you want to know where I go record shopping in Sioux City, either go to flea markets, or I go to a place called The Wolves, which is like an old school, like a retro type place, or at a place called the Southern Hills Mall, FOE, and Barnes & Noble. And I got the Black Album from there, and my favorite album by Rush, Moving Pictures. For me to say Moving Pictures as a Rush fan is my favorite Rush album is kind of cliche, but I mean, 2112 and Moving Pictures are the 2 best albums by Rush in my opinion. Sure, they're the most popular albums by Rush, but that's because they're the best albums by Rush. So yeah, I mean, again, first side, Tom Sawyer, Red Barchetta, YYZ, and Limelight. You know, that's the first side, and those are like the 4 best songs Rush ever made. After that, thus starts the albums I got today. This is a double album, which I thought was weird. It's a 2-in-1, and it's 2 albums by the Beach Boys, which marks the first albums I bought by the Beach Boys on vinyl. It is the albums California Girls and All Summer Long, all 2-in-1. So yeah, it is still side 1, 2, 3, and 4, but for some reason, this record, All Summer Long, is side 1 and 2, and then California Girls is side 3 and 4, which is weird because, like, the front cover, if you were to look at the front of the gatefold, because it is a gatefold, this is shown as the first one, but this is 3 and 4. Thought that was weird, but it's the Beach Boys. They're basically the American Beatles. So after that, I have owned the album, the self-titled album by Boston, for the longest time, and I think that album's an absolute masterpiece. It's basically their greatest hits album, but I'm not going to sit here and diss Don't Look Back, because Don't Look Back is still an amazing album too. Songs like Don't Look Back, obviously, It's Easy, Feeling Satisfied, Party, songs like that are still some of my favorite songs by Boston. Boston is just a feel-good fucking rock and roll band from the 1970s. They're good to listen to. Their first 3 albums are awesome. I own the song Amanda on 45 as a single, and that's like my favorite Boston song. After that, I was basically, I grew up in a family that like was born and grew up in the 1980s and stuff, and I was born in 1997, but I'm very familiar with 1980s music, but some of it I'm not as familiar as others. And this is actually a 70s band. I don't know why I just said 80s. So basically 70s and 80s. And that is the band Heart with their album Dreamboat Annie, because I have a cousin who is super fucking into the band Heart. I've never actually gotten around to listen to them before, but the two songs I know off this album are Magic Man and Crazy on You. So I'm hoping when I listen to the whole thing, I actually really like it, because I kind of want to get into Heart because I've heard they're pretty good. I know the song Barracuda too and a few others, but I don't know full albums by them. Are they an album band? I don't know. All I know is that Nancy and Ann Wilson are just phenomenal fucking musicians and songwriters. Ann Wilson can sing her ass off, and Nancy is a pretty fucking good guitarist. After that, my mom has always been a huge fan of this guy. This guy died a few years ago. He's one of, if not the most underrated guitarist of all time, and that is the one and only artist formerly known as Prince, and that is the album Purple Rain. And I mean, it has 4 of my favorite songs by Prince: Let's Go Crazy, When Doves Cry, which is my favorite Prince song, I Would Die For You, and Purple Rain on it. And that's reason enough to get this, and now I finally got it. And I never realized just how fucking great this album is. It also came with a poster, reason why I took it out of the wrap it was in. And I have, like, if you look behind me, I have no room on my wall, literally whatsoever, to put this on. But it came with this poster, which I thought was pretty cool. So, yeah. I also have never seen the movie Purple Rain. Might get around to doing that. So, yeah, Purple Rain. After that. So, if you look at behind me, or if you've ever seen any of my reviews before, I am almost basically a straightforward to the point rock music fan, rock and metal. But that doesn't mean that I don't like other genres of music, like hip-hop, not really country at all, like pop and other music like that. So I don't know how shocking this would sound to be, but you'd expect my favorite album of this decade so far, since this decade's almost fucking over, to be a rock album. On the contrary, To Pimp a Butterfly by Kendrick Lamar is the best album of the 2010s. Hands down. I've even listened to The Suburbs by Arcade Fire, which BestEverAlbums.com has actually said is the best album of the 2010s. I disagree. I think To Pimp a Butterfly is the best album that has come from this decade so far. Actually, in general, this decade's almost over. This is the best album of the decade. And it's just, I don't even need to explain why. Just listen to it. After that, another favorite album by somebody, and that is the King of Pop with his album, Bad. Yes, Bad is my favorite Michael Jackson album. I have no disrespect for Thriller or Off the Wall, or even Invincible, or even Dangerous, but Bad is the album that has the songs that I come back to the most, like the song Bad, The Way You Make Me Feel. I love the song Speed Demon. Man in the Mirror is a classic. Dirty Diana, and of course Smooth Criminal. Unfortunately, this is not the special edition, which has the song Leave Me Alone, which is my favorite Michael Jackson song. But yeah, so Bad by Michael Jackson. And then finally, last but not least, we have a picture disc, which is the first one of this. I actually shot an original version of this video, but then today, which actually yesterday technically, I saw the band the Goo Goo Dolls live in concert here in Sioux City at the Orpheum Theater, and I got a t-shirt, and they were also selling vinyls, and I was like, why not? So I got the picture disc version of Dizzy Up the Girl. Dizzy Up the Girl, has the songs Slide, Broadway, Black Balloon, January Friend, and of course, one of the best songs of the 1990s, Iris. I don't care if you disagree. But yeah, so that's the vinyl update of the albums that I got so far of this last 2-week period. Got fucking 11 albums, seven today. But yeah, so that's my new record player. That's my vinyl update. If you enjoyed this video, like this video and subscribe. I'll see you guys in the next review and or video, whatever I decide to make. It might be of Atonement by Killswitch Engage. I may never get around to reviewing that album. Who knows? Only time will tell. Thank you for watching this video. 3, 2, 1, I'm done. Subscribe.